Good evening. The book that I selected for my Book Talk blog is Red Sails to Capri, written by Weil. The book was published in 1952, and in 1953 it received a medal from the Newbery Honor for Children's Literature. I purchased this book in 1996 when I was teaching my children, and they read from it. We also used it as a read aloud, and it became a family favorite instantly. I've also used the book for other kids who would like to have some interesting reading material, and it is a hit. The story is an adventure setting set back in 1826 on the island of Capri, which is just near Italy in the Bay of Naples. The main character in the story, the main character's name is Michel, who's an adolescent boy who lives on the island of Capri with his parents, Signor and Signora Pagano. The Paganos own an inn on the island, and it's the off-season, so it's very, very slow. And to this young boy's experience, it's quite boring. All of a sudden, they find out that 3 visitors are going to come across the waters to the island, and this creates quite a stir. All of a sudden, the inn needs to be prepared for the new guests. When the 3 guests arrive, they find out that one of them is an English painter who's in search of beauty. Another one is a Danish student who would like to study any of the books that are on the island. And the last guest is a French writer who's in search of adventure. It doesn't take very long for the 3 to be staying at the inn, and their curiosity begins to grow about a mysterious cove off of the island of Capri. They find out that there's lots of superstition around the cove, and of course that just sparks their curiosity even more. It's decided, the 3 of them decide that they're going to take a trip and a boat ride and go explore the cove. And of course this causes a lot of controversy in this village, in this fishing village, because many, many people feel that they should not go there. Eventually they do go, and what they end up discovering is the Blue Grotto, and which is now, as many of us would know, a beautiful, beautiful tourist attraction in Italy. That in and of itself made the book very, very exciting to read. It goes quickly, and you get to the end of the adventure. There's never a dull moment in the book at all. This book made a very, very good book for unit study, as we were able to learn about Italy. The dialogue in this story is written as such that it pulls out the accents of the people. So there was so much to learn. It's also historical. It's like, as I said, the setting was 1826. So you can talk a little bit about what life was like on the island of Capri in 1826. We also have our 3 visitors, one of them being British, the other one being French, and the other one being Danish. So there was some possibilities and some good conversations that could come out of that as well. But the selling feature of this story, the thing that we love the most, as I touched on, is the dialogue. The entire book is filled with dialogue. So if you want to be able to have children start to get used to reading other people's conversations, this is the book. And I would like to share just one part of it and to give you a bit of an example. And this is fairly early in the book when Michel and his father are waiting for the men to arrive, and the mother is in the inn, Signora Pagano, and she is cooking fish. And Michel and his father are getting hungry and impatient, but there are very, very strong customs, and so they have to wait until the guests arrive before they can eat. So it says, Michel and his father, faces washed, hair combed, sat in the courtyard waiting. There, there, the words came from the kitchen along with a wonderful odor. There, there, cook slowly now, do not hurry yourselves. The men have not arrived. Signor Pagano looked at Michel and smiled. Your mother, he said, is a very remarkable person. Does she cook by recipe? No. Does she cook by taste? No. Does she cook by smell? No. No, your mother, Michelle, takes a few fish, and she talks to them, and argues with them, and scolds them, and flatters them, until finally she talks them into cooking the way she wants them. She takes a bit of dough and pats it, and teases it, and wraps it up in a cloth like a baby, and sings to it. Will she leave the kitchen when the bread is rising? No. And why not? Because the dough will not rise well by itself. It gets lonely, bread lonely. Now I ask you, what can I do? What can I say? Is she not the best cook in Capri? Michel swallowed hard and nodded. The odors from the kitchen were almost more than he could bear. Would the men never come? There, there! Pots clattered, lids were lifted and replaced. There was the sound of beating and scraping and stirring. There, there! You would like some more lemon, yes? Good, but slowly now. Don't get too brown. The men have not come. There is much time. I hope that you enjoy the story as much as we have, and I hope that the readers enjoy it in their time through this book. I definitely give it 5 stars.